Are you playing with somebody who's really, really annoying on the court and it's affecting your love of pickleball? Well, tune in to today's pod and I might cure what ails you. So, this question comes from a very enthusiastic follower of mine named Han. Aaron, I frequently play with a gentleman named Chad. He's a good player, but he's really, really annoying on the court during rec games. Two examples. He always says, nice serve when someone misses a return, even when the serve is lousy. When he makes a bunch of errors, Chad celebrates when his partner stops the run and makes a good shot. And he says something like, there you go, buddy, which somehow makes you feel like you are the one messing up, not him. I like the guy, but how do I get Chad to stop being annoying when we play? I'm on it, Han. After a long day flying on the Millennium Falcon, getting chased by the Empire, probably smuggling some delaminated paddles, you're looking for something fun to do to unwind. You can't go back into that bar because you blew up Greedo. Probably wouldn't be a good move to step back in there. So your new way of having fun is, playing some rec pickleball. And this Chad guy, he sounds kind of annoying. And the guy with your swagger and charisma, Chad and all his annoying cheers, I mean, that just has to be ruining the vibes. All right, why this happens. Okay, let's be honest. We all get annoyed on the court. And this is a very key Ask Aaron principle. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more you play with the same people again and again and again, okay, their little habits are going to drive you insane. Okay, so you might play with a guy like named Lawson. Okay, you're up 8-3, you're playing pretty well, and then he's busting out all these two-handed backhand speed ups he saw on YouTube. It all blows up in his face, and you lose 11-9. Okay, or maybe you play with a guy like named Larry, talks a lot of smack, not really backing any of it up, and you're playing with them, and you lose pretty quickly 11-2. And then between games, instead of apologizing, he's trying to sell you some paddle that you've never heard of that's probably illegal. So yeah, some of these guys, they get really annoying when you play with them all the time. Sounds like Chad crossed into that territory for Han. So one solution is find other groups and play with more people. I get all these questions in to ask Aaron, and a lot of them have to do with people playing with the same people again and again and again. Okay. Maybe 5-6 years ago. Okay. Back when we were playing with graphite paddles, it was harder to find other people roughly in your skill range to play with, but it's a different era now. So get out there, be social, more chords, more personalities, open up your network a little bit. And maybe when you do play with Chad, because you're mixing it up and not playing with him as much, it won't be as annoying if you're not hearing him every day. You know what's annoying to me? When somebody doesn't like and subscribe to my podcast. I get all kinds of people who say, Aaron, I love your pod, but they haven't subscribed yet. So please do that here. It really helps this channel grow. And I want it to grow so my charity here gets more publicity and I can do more cool things and plug the generosity of wonderful people. I'm going to do more of that in future pods. Friday Pickleball, a few pods ago, thank them. DJ Howard, thank you again for what you did. Ronbus, thank you for the paddles I got to get into Ukraine. Okay, I'm going to be telling more stories about these fine people and organizations for what they're doing with Pickleball Planner, but like and subscribe to help that cause. Okay, getting back to Han's dilemma here. Okay, now nobody wants to be the HR of Pickleball. You don't want to be at 2-3-2 and then snap at your partner. Keep the commentary to a minimum, right? Little strong. That's kind of a written warning, but there are things that you can do to maybe minimize the annoyingness. There are some people, I'm not in this boat, that just don't want to hear anything, even a good shot from their partner. They're just getting locked in. So you might just frame it as kind of a performance issue, Han, and be like, hey, man, I just play better without a lot of commentary, Chad. So I just appreciate keep it to a minimum so I can get really locked in and concentrate. Okay. That might be kind of an indirect way to diffuse this situation, makes it a little less awkward. You might try that first with Chad. Okay. Chad might not be doing the greatest job of reading the room. I think we could all do a better job of reading the room in pickleball. We're so busy focusing on, a new shot or the tendency of an opponent or just having fun. And sometimes we just don't see the body language of somebody, how they're reacting to things. I think we could all do a better job of that, me included. So there's another strategy if Chad doesn't get the hint that I call controlled pettiness. Okay. So if he doesn't change, maybe you're playing against him and he misses a return. Then you say to the person who served, hey, great serve, man. Okay. And maybe he's like, yeah, that is kind of annoying. And he gets a hit. Okay. Maybe he dumps the ball in the net and you say something like, hey, there you go, buddy, something like that. Again, I think it's a last resort. It could be a little risky. It might escalate, but maybe sometimes when they hear it for themselves, they're kind of like, I might need to stop saying that. So what's really going on with Chad? Here's the important part. I don't think Chad is malicious here. I think guys like Chad, they're not trying to be jerks. I think they're trying to more manage their anxiety. Some players narrate the game because silence makes them uncomfortable, okay? Encouragement is like a coping mechanism. They repeat the same things over and over and over again. This Chad guy, he sounds a little bit like, a good lawyer that knows his client has a really weak case. So he's, putting together a long-winded opening statement or maybe writing a real terse cease and desist letter, right? He's kind of sounds like that kind of situation. Maybe he's not comfortable with his partner and he kind of feels he needs to cover it up. So who knows, hon? He might be kind of hinting you're not as good as him. Okay, bonus tip here for you chatterboxes on the court. If you're going to be verbal, mix it up a little bit. Give me some come-ons and let's goes. Give me something funny, or give me you're playing like Ben Johns today. Give me stuff like that. Be creative. Just don't say the same things again and again and again, because that is kind of annoying. And Han, I am with you on that. So flags on the play, definitely. Flag, not an ejection, but I think it's a 5-yard penalty on Chad. Excessive celebration, kind of repeat the rec game with new cheers and commentary, or Han is going to sub you out for Orlando Calrissian. So Han, I know you're listening from a galaxy far, far away. I hope this is helpful to you. And remember, folks, encouragement is only encouragement if the other person wants it. So Chad, remember that. Okay. Hopefully, Han, you and Princess Leia are having a great time at a mixed doubles tournament. I'm sure you'll win gold in the Alderaan Invitational. But remember, if she tells you when you're playing, hey, nice shot, don't look her in the face and say, I know. Thank you for listening today. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. And if there is pickleball drama in your life, send it to askaaronpb@gmail.com. And may the force be with you on the pickleball courts.